Hi investigators, government investigators and fraud controllers, Mike Evans again with the third in our series of help with assessments for the Diploma of Government Investigation, the Diploma of Fraud Control and the Advanced Diploma of Government Investigation, Workplace Inspection and Fraud Control. During these short 10-minute programs, we're showing you where to go to get assistance with the assessments so you can move through this diploma assessed unit quickly and in detail, and find and research your answers for those assessments and be deemed competent in that unit as it builds towards your required units for your diploma. Now, today we're looking at anticipate and detect possible fraud. Yesterday, I was talking about that. This is our third episode in the series. Yesterday, I was actually talking about that, and I made something up, and it was something that I just made up. So I was talking about today, we can't go to old Bob or old Mary and us, and we don't have that single go-to person in the department anymore who's full of knowledge. They're all retired, they're gone, they've been transferred, whatever. And I made up the SMINKS, the Single Mums Incorporating Numerous Kids, and the SMECS, Single Mums Exaggerating Calculated Kids. Now, these two are fictional made-up things I used as an example where someone who didn't have any children claimed that they did and wanted benefits for it. Now, that's pretty weird, but it's just an example, so it's not meant to be an attack on single mums. These people didn't have any children, so they weren't a mum. So effectively, that's what I used as my example. And just after that, yesterday, it came out in the news in Tasmania that a lady had faked having a baby and she had scammed $160,000 from Centrelink. And that was reported in the Mercury in Hobart, and she's got to pay that money back. And there was a tragic set of circumstances involved in this matter with manipulation by her parent and that sort of thing. There's always a tragedy with these sorts of things. So that came out in the news yesterday. It was like I had my crystal ball and I was looking at it going, oh yeah, my example of mums pretending they had kids, I had no idea about it. But thanks, crystal ball, that was really helpful. So today we're looking at anticipate and detect fraud. So let's have a look at the video first. Hi, Mike Evans again from the Australian Security Academy, and in this episode we're looking at anticipate and detect possible fraud activity. Hackers are out there and they are looking for vulnerabilities in your agency. They're methodical, they work through problems and they collaborate. They look for the weakest link so they can get in to steal whatever they want to steal, or manipulate what they want to manipulate, or insert what they want to insert. So if they're after your CEO, there's no use trying to do it at your workplace's website, but they will go after her at her charity. So they think these things through. So for a whole of qualification for Diploma of Government Investigation, Diploma of Fraud Control, or Advanced Diploma of Government Fraud Control, go to the unit, anticipate and detect possible fraud activity. Scroll down to the end of topic 1. So here's topic 1. Scroll down to the end of it, and there are 2 resources to help you with your assessments throughout this program. Firstly, there's this link to a URL about discovering all your possible countermeasures. And secondly, there's a document about CLIPOOM, the information sharing legislation for Commonwealth Government departments. Over 450 pieces of malware are created each day. Earlier this week, I told you just by completing the assessments in one unit, you were going to disrupt 1 million fraud attempts at your workplace. And you are. And if you work there for 20 years, it'll probably be 2 million. So keep in mind, hackers are methodical, they work through problems and they collaborate. How do they think? A normal person thinks when you say to them, this is the new iPhone 4, what does that do? The hacker thinks, oh, that's the new iPhone 4, what can I make it do? That's how they think. Now, when you go to anticipate possible fraud activity, anticipate and detect, you just scroll down, whether you're in the advanced diplomas or in the diplomas of fraud control or investigation. Scroll down there, it's the end of topic 1. Everything you want to know about information sharing and the legislation is in that document. The URL gives you countless possibilities to implement fraud control within your department. Why is that important? You do that every day. Well, this is important in helping you with your assessments. If you click on that link, you'll have enormous resources over and above what you've already got in your resources on Moodle. But there are other examples and other ways of thinking there. You include that in your answers to your assessments, follow the guide in there, send it through to me for feedback. You'll work through this program a lot quicker than struggling to think about it over the weekend or at work on your own. There's help for this sort of stuff. It's in topic 1, in anticipate possible and detect possible fraud activity, and it's going to help you with your assessments. I'll be back again tomorrow with the 4th in our series this week for the study support. We'll see you then. I'm Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy.